What is going on, Mafia? Welcome back to the channel. I wanted to do a quick market update. I'm not going to be going live tonight. I have some stuff I have to take care of, but I wanted to jump on the charts real quick, talk about some key levels, give you my overall thoughts. Things are super choppy right now, but we'll cover the high time frames, we'll cover the low time frames, and give you all the saucy key levels that I'm looking at next. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Let's get into it. So guys, here we are on the Bitcoin chart. Now, obviously, we did get a bit of a drop to the downside last night, and of course, we were looking at our 1 hour money flow crossing into the red yesterday after getting accepted back below our value area high. Anytime we lose these levels, guys, it does indicate that you might be on your way to the POC. And when we see that 1 hour money flow crossover, you can see how choppy things have been here, guys. You're in the red, you're in the green, you're in the red, you're in the green. But we got that money flow crossover there with our 16-hour red dot looking to print, which gives us the market cipher B 1/16th bearish setup. And we know, right? We lose that POC, not really a good sign. We also had our 15-minute money flow crossover into the red with our 4-hour red dot printing, which gives us another market cipher B 1/16th strategy, at least bearish setup to the downside. At that point, you're expecting lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, right? And we did get that drop to the downside. Currently, we are bouncing off of our 786 Fibonacci retracement, right after our last significant higher low. You can see we had a golden pocket, 786 sitting right down here. We also had a daily horizontal level sitting there as well. You get those bullish divergences, lower lows on your price, higher lows on your momentum waves, and you get that little bounce to the upside, right? But this is hyper local, guys. Price is very, very, very choppy right now. And overall, I am simply just going to be watching this volume profile. You lose the value area high, can't get out. POC is next. If we cannot break above this point of control, guys, we could be headed down towards our value area low. Now, the one reason I'm not super confident in this being a very high probability move is just the fact that we have a lot of our money flow chopped up. Even our 2-hour money flow here, right? We're in the green, we're in the red, we're in the green. Just an absolute chop fest, guys. Not the best trading environment. Not that you can't catch any scalps or anything, but for me personally, as I said last night, right, I'm holding my long from here at about $85,000. Other than that, I'm not really interested in any new real long positions until we get a bigger move down, and no new real major short positions until we get our next move up to our next big key level, which I will go over in just a second. But this is the local range, guys. We could bing bong around in here. We got the value area low sitting at $86,647. POC sitting at about $91,350. Value area high sitting at $93,580. And as always, right, you always look for the shorts at the highs, longs at the lows. And I'm obviously still holding this long position. We took the short here into our golden pocket before getting our next push up. Took a scalp short here, and then I didn't trade FOMC yesterday, so I'm not holding a short currently. I'm only holding the long position, but I'm just going to let this play out. Bing-bonging around in the range here. If we get the continuation down, right, we lose the value area high, lose the POC. If we cannot reclaim this point of control, guys, right, even if we reclaim it and we just can't break out of the profile, right, it could be very wonky. If we can't break out of this value area high, 93,570. The next key level of support I'll be looking at is sitting down here at that value area low, 86,666. We also have some confluent there on some daily MPOCs and weekly MPOCs. See right here, you got the value area low, daily and weekly MPOCs. We also have our Fibonacci retracement sitting down there as well. We also have our 786 Fibonacci retracement sitting there down to about $86,000. So just very simply, I'm going to be treating this as a range until it breaks, right? We can't get above the POC, can't break out of the value area high. Well, as long as we're below that POC, the doorway to the value area low is open. This is the next local key level of support, and I will be interested in scalps and day trades there. This could be an area to put in a higher low, guys, right? So we did get in there and end up getting the bigger break up. If we don't get the push up first, this is still an area that we could hold as a higher low to then see the higher targets get hit up here, which still sit between $95,000 and $97,000. So right now, like the biggest levels on the chart are down here at the value area low, and then we just have the bigger zone up here between 95 and 97. Other than that, we're chopping around in the volume profile. If I find some local trades to take in here, I will take them with the premium Discord. But overall, right, just shorting the highs, longing the lows. Not holding the short from here anymore. I scalped that on Tuesday. Ended up closing that position before FOMC. But these are the local levels, guys. This is the local range. Until we break out of this value area high at 93,572, right, we could just bing bong around here. Right? So I'm just viewing this as a volume profile. If we do get the breakout, and I do want to point out the POC is an incredibly important key level of resistance because not only is this the point of control of your range, you can even see here, guys, this volume profile's not super respected, right? This is why I don't really have a super big bias of if we come down or if we go up. I'm simply just sitting in my long and waiting for one of these levels to get hit. But this POC is also obviously going to be our macro value area low, right? So like this is the big level we got to get above, right? Come on, Biddy, get up there, right? And if we can reclaim that level, we still got to get above the local levels, but like this is a huge level. If we're able to get above here and hold, it reopens the door to that point of control. So we're just super choppy here, simply waiting for the higher levels or the lower levels to get hit. Now, one thing that's important to realize here, guys, is if we get the drop down below this 786 at about 86K and we start losing our local value area low, we could be looking for the bigger drop down to come take out the low here at $80,500. The market's not going to give you what you prefer, but if you ask me for my preference, not the higher probability, but my preference, I would actually like to get a bigger move up here into the POC zone between 95 and 97K. I will be looking for scalps at that value area low, as I'm just typically looking for day trades and scalps at the value area high. Took the scalp up here, took the short from up here, and took the long from down here. Simple volume profile trading. But if this level does not get hit, I'm not really interested in longs because I'm already holding from lower. So maybe I found a local short entry to, scalp this back down to the value area low. But other than that, guys, just looking for this range to play out. Once it breaks to the upside, we have our bigger level between 95 and 97K. If it comes to the downside and we do not get bullish confirmations for a long position and we end up losing this level, I will very likely be looking for a break of the lows here at 80,500, which of course, when we take a look at the 2-day time frame, we have this 2-day red dot potentially looking to print somewhat soon. Once that prints, guys, I cannot unsee this. It does look like we might want to print a bullish divergence, which obviously would call for a break of structure to the downside to put in that lower low. And we do have some confluence down there. We do have the daily horizontal and the weekly MPOC. So, biggest levels to the downside right now, in my opinion, right? Of course, we do have the daily that we're bouncing off of right now. So, could get the move up from here, right? For all I know, but I'm just don't care. I'm already long. I'll just be looking for the bigger targets to get hit. But the bigger levels to the downside, going to be sitting here at about $87,341 and $86,000. Once we lose that, in my opinion, I am looking for an eventual breakdown of these lows into our next big key level of support, sitting between about $79,520 all the way down to about $78,550. And from the macro perspective, just don't forget, the hope here, guys, is, we do have if we are going to look for higher lows and higher highs, like we do still have 8-hour money flow coming up. We do still have the 10-hour money flow in the green. So this could continue the bigger uptrend with the lower time frames just being completely choppy. I don't know. I just don't have a strong preference of what happens first. I'm positioned for the long. If we come up higher for the bigger short position, great. If not, well, then the long will continue to pay us out if we can reclaim this value area low, right? The macro outlook is to get above the value area low, eventually push into this POC, guys. We've been waiting for this forever. Like, are we finally going to do it? We're getting the higher lows and the higher highs. Can we finally see this target hit? I hope so. But then at that point, right, we can reassess the situation. And of course, I will be interested in rejections there. I will be looking for shorts with the premium Discord. But if we do get the drop down, right, we have to be careful that we don't flip that value area low to support. If that 10-hour money flow continues into the green, right, doesn't mean we can't capitalize on the short position to the downside, but if that money flow continues up, right, we would just be looking for higher lows and higher highs. So that would be a scalp until proven otherwise, right? Because if it turns into a higher low and a higher high, to get a bigger retracement into our much bigger level of resistance between $102,000 and $105,000 for that big, big relief rally. I am still bearish on the higher time frames, of course. Still a little bit worried about something like that happening, even if we come up there. But once we flip that POC, that will be the next target, right? So, we got to get in here with this high time frame money flow coming up if we want that bigger retracement. But just playing it level to level here. Keep an eye on these key targets, guys, and we'll see what we get. Are we going to be down here at the lows tomorrow, or are we going to be up here in the POC or approaching $102,000? Only time will tell. I'm just going to keep holding my long position and see if we can get another short setup to present itself. So with all that being said, guys, that's all the time I got for today's market update. Hopefully this helps you guys out. I got to head out of here. Don't forget to smash that like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel. That's all I got for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Frankie Candles out.
At the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, we winning by a landslide.